Well, whenever we need the sound effect, like when we're like, and then the killer creeped up, you have to do that. Because that's what it would sound like. He's walking around in a full rubber fucking suit.
That's true.
He can't sneak up on anybody.
What'd they call him?
I want to call him the hooker, but he was the slickerman.
The slicker. That's what it was. The fish and slicker.
Hard R, really?
Yeah.
A little much. I know this was made like 20 years ago, but like, sheesh.
I took notes, but I don't feel like reading them.
No, I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
You took notes?
Yeah, I was bored last night, so I started like jotting down some stuff.
You don't need notes for this.
Nobody needs notes for this. The director should have taken some notes on how to make your actors better.
From good movies,
yeah.
And then applied it to this one.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I lied.
He touched the butt.
The Force will be with you, always. Why is the rum always gone? Go ahead. Make my day.
I don't know, for a slasher, right?
Yeah,
Kinda.
sort of.
Like
It's a slasher.
You hate to say it, but like a
Suspense
story-driven slasher.
Ooh, that's an oxymoron.
Yeah. Not that much screaming.
Not that much.
No, it was more just yelling dialogue at each other.
What are you waiting for? Just that.
We used to be best friends. Then we did the murders. Now we don't talk anymore.
I don't blame you at all. I just don't want to know you anymore.
It wasn't your fault.
I don't blame you for hitting that guy at 40 miles an hour on clearly a 15-mile-an-hour turn. You dick.
It's a windy mountain road.
Yeah.
Just floating along.
Just going 50 down those freaking things.
Now, when did you first... You've seen this one before, right?
I have seen this movie before.
We got one.
Before the time that I just watched it.
Yeah, and then you've...
This was a Walmart special.
Yeah.
I bought this as a deluxe set.
Yeah.
Had the sequel with it too.
Oh, I thought you meant Walmart special, like the big bin.
Oh yeah. It was in a big bin, and
okay.
it came with two DVDs. That's how old it is.
Okay. Because I forget when I watched it for the first time, but it was probably like middle school age-ish.
Right.
Because it would have been out for 8
or
9 years at that point when I watched it. It's super funny that you can see so many other movies in this movie, but you forget that one was first.
Or you just think of
Scary Movie.
Yeah, all the Scary Movie. Yeah,
that's true. I
great.
didn't think about that aspect of it, but they drew some inspiration from this one for sure.
Well, like
heavy inspiration.
Like they copied most of it.
They literally copied the movie.
Which is the point.
So this was, I mean, I don't think we ever actually mentioned it, but this is I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah. We know what the
we
three
all
of us
did. We
know
saw the
what
movie.
Everyone did.
And now we all know about everybody's summer.
Yep.
But
it's in the booklet when you get the DVDs. Just, Tom, picked up a summer job.
Went water skiing. It's like, how the fuck did you know that DVD?
1997, they were ahead of their time.
But yes, I Know What You Did Last Summer. This was one of those, came out around like the Scream era of slashers where we're trying to like play on that whole meta stuff. And like Kevin Williamson, he is the guy who actually wrote Scream, and he also wrote this movie. Shocker. Because he draws a lot from both. Yeah. From both movies.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
However, I definitely feel Scream was the better of the of the mockumentary.
Everybody hits their peak at some point.
Yeah.
This wasn't it, but Scream was. So
yeah, no, and I'm glad Scream was his.
We're glad both movies exist.
Oh yeah,
but Scream was more fun to watch.
Right.
Where this this one was more like I don't know, like, because you hate to say, like, this is more like an actual movie. Like, some things had to happen for this movie to happen, and then the other ones are just like teenagers are stabbing each other.
Yeah, but like more people know Scream, so it's also like easier to talk about with horror fans and everything. Although, if you are a horror fan, I'm sure you've seen this one.
Oh yeah,
that's a classic.
You have to see it.
And I think I was texting you guys about it, where it was like, I didn't realize how many 2B heavy hitters in this genre were in. Like, I started watching the movie, I was like, oh, I forget. I know all these people. They're in these movies.
Well, like our top 3 actors all have 3 names, so I'm thinking like you need three names because you got Jennifer Love Hewitt, you got Sarah Michelle Gellar, and you got Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm like, they all got 3 names.
I mean, I got 3 names. You got 3 names?
I do, but
holy crap.
Steve picked his middle name.
Yeah, I picked it. I picked it out of a book of pre-approved names.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. When he was like, what, 13?
Yeah, I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I'm pretty glad I wasn't given that much power in 6th grade.
Yeah, I know. I tried to pick a lot of stupid stuff.
My middle name would be something dumb in a different language.
My name is something, and it means fart face.
It means broken horse leg in Swedish.
I think the one main thing about this movie that is kind of like a, what were they going for, is like the whole point of the killer is just a dude, but then he gets killed, but then he almost seems supernatural, but they don't talk about it.
It's like they tried to make him like a Jason thing, but like they didn't like fully commit, because there is that scene where she's driving along and there's like all those crabs and like the dead body in her trunk, and then it just miraculously disappears with no trace
in like
of
5
anything.
Which
5 minutes.
I needed like 11 seconds more on that scene to just not like completely like. That's a place where a lot of people that enjoy digging into movies wrote that movie off.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean they could have had like sand or like it was wet in the trunk, but everything else was gone, and they'd be like, "Oh, so you went to the beach?" Like,
that was from your that was from your picnic basket yesterday.
That scene almost kind of makes it seem like they were shooting for like a supernatural aspect of it, and then they were also trying to like play the route that maybe Jennifer Love Hewitt is crazy and like nothing's actually happening and it's all in her head.
And sometimes with these things that are, and I have no idea how this movie was made, but some of them change as you start filming. You know, the directors and assistants, they talk about, well, when we got into the filming aspect of this, the character really took on a life of its own. It's like it was all written down on paper.
Yeah, it's like you didn't actually have a script. You just said, all right, you're scared.
But the paper to the screen can change things. You see something when you see the story coming to life. So I get that. But it's almost like they filmed some supernatural stuff, trying to like juice it up a little bit, and then they just forgot to take that out.
Yeah. They're just like, oh crap, you deleted that, right? And shit, the movie's out.
He gets his paycheck in an hour, and that's it. Yeah. He's like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah,
I did
definitely, it. Yeah, don't watch the movie though.
Just trying to get the check to clear. Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
So is this pre-Scream?
No, this was after Scream.
This was after
Scream? This was in that like successor of like Scream came out, and it was like the teens, everything was meta. They were like playing on the genre, and then everybody was like, well, that worked. Let's do it again, but like with different holidays.
Yeah, different holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too that he like follows his own rules of horror movies, where it's like you can't have sex, you can't drink or do drugs because then you'll get killed. And then he ends up, having them get killed.
Doing all of those at the same time, and everybody dies.
But like he has this like way of writing his dialogue where like characters almost talk like nobody you've ever met before. And like he did it in Scream too, but like it kind of worked there, like because all the characters were kind of quirky. They all had like their own personality, and you got like good people to play them.
In Scream, a lot of gesturing and body movement and conveying the story with what you see, not just what you hear. And in this, it was like everybody. Yeah. Oh my goodness! I'm being chased around a department store.
And then like the scene in the beginning when they're on the beach and whatever his name, Freddie Prinze Jr. is just like, did you know, like, statistically, it's more probable that high school couples, like, stay together through college? Like, nobody really talks like that.
No. And if that's your argument to try to get laid,
well, the fact that it works.
I mean, it works. So you can't hate on it because it worked, but
like
that had to be his go-to.
Yeah, it's like, did you know high school couples stay together? Oh my God, fuck me now.
It was also written in the script that it had to work. So
oh yeah, also.
Does it actually work?
Just want to point this out. Second coastal city summer movie.
Mm-hmm. I think we're on. I
needed one shark death. I needed one shark attack.
There were no sharks.
There were no sharks.
And when they dumped this guy in the lake or whatever, they're like, the sharks will take care of the rest. But I'm like, you're in really, really shallow water right now, and I don't think there's any sharks poking around.
More likely just going to kind of wash up on the shore.
Yeah. He's going to move 8 feet to his left.
Oh, and then they're like, oh, yeah, well, a body was found in lobster traps. I'm like, well, why didn't you just say we'll feed them to the lobsters?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Too on the nose.
Yeah. Weigh them down a little bit.
Now, I can see why they thought that. But, again, they grew up on that coastal town, so they probably knew what tide it was, and you know, we can give them the benefit of the doubt with that.
A little bit.
Should have killed him.
But blonde boy, what's his name?
Blonde boy? Oh God, I don't even know the characters' names.
No, it doesn't matter.
So he was drunk.
Yes.
But everybody listened to his reasoning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Over anybody else's, and then the other guy just kind of went along with what he said.
Yeah. Well, he was gonna fry.
Yeah.
We'll all fry for this.
Well,
every single one of us.
As we continue through the movie, we're going to go over several life lessons. The first one, if you accidentally murder someone, don't do the plan that the drunk guy came up with.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even make sense. Because it's like clearly the dude was dressed in all black. He's out in the middle of the road and like fucking midnight, 1 a.m., just walking across the street. Like anybody could have hit him whether you were drunk or sober. Like clearly you should have just been like, hey, we hit this guy, and he wasn't even dead anyway because he grabs the crown and like falls into the ocean.
But then everyone would have known what they did that summer.
No, not just him. I forgot.
Yeah.
Then it would be we all know what we did that summer.
Everyone knows what you did. We put it in the paper.
Well, and I mean, this movie frames it in a way that you're supposed to think they did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to...
Which they did. They murdered someone.
Yeah, like, at the end of that scene, you're not supposed to go, oh, that was great. That was the perfect...
Wow,
that's what they should have done.
That was all wrapped up in a bow. This should not come back at any point in the movie.
Yeah. Oh, my God. When Sarah Michelle Gellar's just like, we were so careful. I'm like, you guys were the worst at
you were
fucking
dragging
murder.
him along while someone's driving down the road like, oh, I hope they don't see us.
And they're literally holding the body, and they're just like, hey, there's a car coming. Slowly lower him over the fucking guardrail.
It definitely couldn't be the one guy that was hitting on the one girl. That you know, it couldn't be the one person we've already ran into in the movie. And the amount of yelling while trying to cover up a murder.
With like his mom in the other room while they're talking about it.
Oh my God.
So even at the start when they first hit the guy, they're screaming in the car.
Yeah.
What do we do? What do we do? Then they all get out of the car. Okay, we're gonna keep the lights on the whole time. So
we hit a boot.
It's like so they find him. They're still yelling. They yell the whole time they clean it up. They're just yelling the whole time,
screaming.
And they're like on a mountain near a body of water, which is like how sound carries the best.
Oh yeah.
But it's like what do you? I think we killed him. It's like maybe don't scream that.
There are people that live in boats.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there was someone around.
I hope nobody can hear that we just murdered somebody.
And they didn't drive him somewhere. They drug him down to the dock.
Yeah.
So that's where people are.
Yeah.
People go there.
Yeah, there's night fishers. I've seen it.
Which means there has to be a road down there because you have to get the boat in and out. So it's like people are here. It's silly stuff. It's like, a little bit of silly.
Tell me you haven't murdered somebody without telling me you haven't murdered somebody.
Well, the blood on your forehead and the dead body are a damn good giveaway.
But, you know, there are some of those scenes where you're like, there should be people around, but, like, they're just very isolated.
Like, when Blonde Boy when he gets his first threat from the hooker hand, he, like, you know, he's clearly in a gym that has open all hours, so of course like people would be there working out, but nobody's working out.
Yep.
And this guy is able to sneak in fuck with this guy, leave and steal his car.
Without a gym pass, by the way.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He
He didn't even
gets
pay
in.
for a
He
membership.
didn't scan in.
There was no guest pass. But like, it's like it's almost like they tried to set it up like this guy is supernatural. Like
Right.
the ghost of this killer is come
Does
back
he-
to haunt you.
Does he ever get his jacket back?
No, because the killer puts it on the dead body.
That's
in-
right, that's
in
right, that's
Jennifer
right, that's
Love's
right.
trunk.
But did that actually happen?
Yeah, but then he disappeared, so he
Yeah.
never really. Yeah, so I
Because
don't
we
think
never
he-
see the body again. I don't think.
too bad.
Unless it's in the ending where, of course, she has to discover all the bodies like
Right.
in clear ass ice cubes.
Also, they really do not make a point to like have anybody react to people dying much,
God,
except
yeah.
for
No.
one little like, oh, and then they never discuss it again.
No
It's like
morbidity.
they're friends, they're sisters. Like
Yeah, nobody.
nobody talks about anybody else dying ever.
No, and speaking of sisters, the fucking Sarah Michelle's sister in this movie is
Sheesh.
the worst human
worst
being
person.
I have ever met.
Dad put me in charge of the store, and you're gonna do it. You're told.
I know that you have this like obligation because you were prom queen last year and you have to be in this parade, but fuck you. I
You're not
own
doing
you.
it.
I'm
Get
sorry,
to the
Steve.
store.
Do you have an older sister?
No, I don't.
I do.
Oh, well,
Older sisters.
can you relate? Are they all violent and mean?
Now, to the point of being in a horror film, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, she would. Yeah, they my sister used to do stuff to get me in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Do the old rub the arm till it's red, and then go, Michael hit me.
Oh my
yeah,
God, that's
yeah,
evil.
yeah. They did some stuff like that, but I didn't ever work. That would be if I worked for my older sister, then
Yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
a better perspective.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I never worked for her.
Right.
But that was
If
that was
you've ever worked for a sibling, please
Yeah.
write us
Yeah.
and let us
Let us-
know.
let us know
how
if it's
horrible
that
that
bad.
experience was.
and maybe you should kill her and get away with it for a year.
No, have a hook hand guy coming.
yes.
Yeah, all right, and that's another point for this guy just wanting revenge
Mm-hmm.
on 4 people who murdered him. He's going out of his way to kill a lot of people that had nothing to do with that night.
Yep.
And he's just
Really?
kind of like he has these opportunities to kill the main characters, but he just fucks with them instead, and then kills random dock worker number 1.
Right.
Like, what did he do?
He was there and he weighed the fish wrong, and so that was a separate grievance for that
You were
guy.
hiding weights in your fish. Now you have to die.
And he just hooks everyone once.
Classic.
Yeah.
Pack of matches under the scale. You're cheating me out of.
Yeah. Well, his kill method is kind of questionable because he just gets him through like the bottom of the throat there. And
Yeah.
like, I'm not denying that would hurt like hell, but I
Yeah,
don't
but,
know
like,
if it would
that's
be
not-
an instant kill.
That's not a fatal part. Like you could
Right.
get stabbed up in your tongue and you'd be
Yeah.
fine. I
Be
mean,
very
maybe,
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
like you'd bleed out if they just like left you hanging
Yeah.
there. But like,
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, with
Maybe he
wounds,
hooks him and just leaves
Well,
him
there's-
hanging.
there's timers and switches in knife wounds. Some you bleed out, other ones flip a switch.
yeah, it'd be better to
Those
go.
are timers.
It'd be better to take the hook to the back of the
Oh
head.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, again, we could have done the movie better, but
Yeah.
it was funny how it was kind of tame.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
It was pretty tame, but there shouldn't have been a tame reaction to a group of teenagers murdering someone in your town
right.
and then getting away with it, and then that's what invites all this chaos and destruction. Like the town didn't care at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there was no like, oh my God, there have been several murders. Everybody
right.
beware of a murderer.
Or even
Right.
none of that.
The people on the porch when they drive by, where they like scowl at you, and they kind of set the mood for the
Right.
town, and that's why they don't interact with the town people, is because they've been ostracized.
Like you need to, if you're gonna set it in like, clearly this is like a communal town. Like they're having 3 parades on the 4th of July. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they did.
But like,
A morning parade and a night parade.
right. So like, if you're trying to build this sense of like it's a community, everybody's out, everybody's having fun. Like you kind of have to make the town a character. Like they do that. I keep going back to Scream, but they do that in Scream. Like Woodsboro is a character. Like
Yep.
the town is involved in these murders. Like people care. People are talking about it. But like in this, it's like, oh yeah, did you hear about Billy? He just got like hooked up by his chin. Whatever. Who
Like,
cares?
whatever.
Let's go to the 4th of
Just
July
a
parade.
regular Tuesday, whatever.
It's like, stop asking for attention.
Right?
Fuck off.
Right? It's just some meddling kids.
It's like, we murdered somebody last year. Yeah, so did half the town. Fuck out of here.
Right? Amateur hour. We found the other boot.
You left the boot at the scene of the crime. What the hell?
One thing, because we could shit on this for another hour. But
Yeah, why not?
One thing I did like is the detective work they had to put in. It wasn't like, let's just wait, and we'll be prepared when the killer comes for us. It's like, we need to find out who the killer is and where he is.
I mean, it was only our main chick who was interested in that mostly.
Well, there's a lot of personal things going on
Yeah.
between the
Yeah.
gang. But I
They all
did
broke up.
I did like that. Yeah. That was kind of funny how they were like the best of friends, like, and even the cheesy line of high school couples have a better chance of being married or whatever.
We'll be friends forever,
Friends forever. It's like they did quite a bit to show like that being the core group, and then they never talked to. And then she was surprised that she's like, "Well, what happened in New York?" It's like, really, you didn't even know that? Like, you just really, you didn't even know that?
It's like you completely cut everybody out.
Everybody.
Like, I thought murdering somebody would bring us closer together.
No, they should have hung out.
Well, I mean, it also just goes to show you that, going from high school to college, things are going to change. But I think the biggest thing that tore them apart was what they did last summer. So,
That's a good point.
yeah,
That's a good
that'll
point.
eat
That
at
must
you.
be why they named the movie
Yeah.
that.
That's a heavy motif we see throughout the
Yeah.
film. Is
I
I know
believe
they
she
did
did
last
last
summer.
summer.
yeah, several characters get notes that also say this.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I
Not
like that.
it's one of the movies where they don't have to show the title because they show it in a handwritten
Yeah.
note from the
Mm.
killer. It's like, what else can you ask for?
Perfect handwriting, by the way.
Excellent.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Excellent. I do. We keep going back to Scream. There was like police involved.
Yeah.
There was police involvement. There was an author that was
Yeah.
writing a book about the town and things like that.
Right.
So there's peripheral characters that added to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And in this, the only peripheral character that was given any lines was like the half-scorned girlfriend of the original
Yeah.
guy, but she was the guy who died's brother, and like
Right.
something. And it was like,
Well, they
so much backstory for the poor lady in the woods.
Right. Well, like they did that thing of like setting up red herrings where it was just like, oh, is this guy the murderer? Oh, is this girl the murderer? Like they gave everybody like these creepy like looks. They gave them
Yeah.
like these stupid motivations.
They did it to each other. Like,
Yeah.
well, it has to be you. Where were you? And
Right.
dude's like, I was
But-
on a fishing boat the
Yeah.
whole
But
year. It's like
when you do that and then immediately kill the character that you were just setting up
Yeah.
as the red herring.
the
it's
next
like,
time.
yeah, the next time you do it, I'm gonna be like,
Eh.
oh, so you're just setting up more victims because they set up the sister and then the sister dies and then they set up the weird sister lady and then like turns out she's not even involved.
Yeah, and it ends up being a non-speaking character as the killer. So,
Right.
like, that just confirms that, well, it couldn't possibly be anybody who spoke or
like-
that
Right,
we knew.
and
Did they
like-
have lines? Yep.
Yeah,
All right, not
and it
them. Did
works.
they have lines? Yeah.
Like it works so well in Scream because everyone they set up as the red herring or as somebody with a motive is part of that friend group and is directly involved with the
Yep.
story.
And
when you're setting up for a guy that we assume is dead and somebody else is fucking
Right.
with the characters, like
Right.
you're not expecting him to just be like, oh yeah, regular dude in a
Well, 'cause
jean jacket.
you think it's gonna be the guy who's hitting on the dude's girlfriend at the
Right.
party, and then he also finds them at the scene of the murder.
Yeah.
And then he's the first to go.
yeah.
You're just like that was the one character you could have
Right.
saved up until the end
Yeah,
and
he could
have
have
like
been,
a final confrontation.
he could have been the last victim.
Exactly.
And he
instead of
even
the
went.
first victim.
He even went and scared him,
yeah.
and it's like,
And like his
But you
response
did all the
to
stuff you're
getting
not
scared was
supposed
like,
to do.
"I'll fucking hook you" or something. Like,
Yeah.
So like, you could have had him up until the last minute and then have the actual killer pop out and kill him.
or at
Right.
the end, it turns out they hit that guy with the car.
It's just a never-ending cycle of car accidents.
Oh no, now we have to dump this guy into the lake.
Son of a bitch!
One obscure thing I
Yeah.
liked was the ice in the
Yeah.
in the boat, in the well of the boat where they put all the fish.
Yeah.
I liked that. That's a real thing that those older boats had. It's completely
At least
random.
they were accurate.
Completely
with their
random
body
in that.
hiding.
I don't know if it was actually ice, but if you're gonna
No,
hide in that section,
That was part
Yeah.
of my notes. It was actually gelatin.
was it really?
Yeah. So J-Lo could
'Cause I
have
know-
an easier time crawling around.
I know if they're doing stuff and they're filming outside and they have ice in the drinks, not in plastic. And
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Movies
there's
aren't real. Crazy.
There's this way that they make like fake ice, and it is
Yeah.
like
It's like a little gelatin, makes it clear.
Right,
That's why
'cause-
that was the cleanest ice I've ever seen.
it would melt
Oh yeah.
like
And
so
clink.
fast.
Yeah.
The clinking, I think, was the main thing.
Added
Yeah.
in post. Yeah. I mean,
it'll
that
be fine.
it made that like slushy ice noise.
Right.
It did. It was good. They probably used real ice to give the fake ice
Yes.
the real sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that how move?
What do they call that when they
Foley.
Foley? That's what
Yeah.
it is. That always reminds me of Mick Foley, the
Yeah.
professional wrestler.
He took his name from that. He was a big film buff.
I mean, he is, but I think that's just a result of living on the road.
Oh my god.
You just watch movies in hotels. We know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
We do.
Um,
We do. We're not going to make a movie about it
No.
because what you did last summer isn't cool enough to make
And
a
I
movie
gotta be
about.
honest, the sequel is worse.
The sequel's so much
So
worse.
much worse.
Shocker.
But it is a better movie
It's
to
a
watch.
and
You'll
it's
have
funny.
so much more fun watching that
We've
one.
contradicted ourselves so much. It's
Yeah.
like it's a story-driven slasher almost. They weren't waiting. They did detective work to find out who
Yeah.
the killer was, and it worked out. Like it
Right.
wasn't like they left breadcrumbs to lead him to where he wanted to kill him. It
You're
was
right.
like they actually found out what was going on and then told the audience,
Yeah.
which is weird. Like you're not. They just
Don't
did a
tell
bunch of
me
stuff you're
things.
not normally supposed to do. It was
Right.
97, and you know, Scream works so well. Let's try this. And
Yeah.
there's a bunch of these style movies where group of people, something bad happens, something kills them. That
Right.
that happens a lot in
Yeah,
movies
yeah.
from 1994
Surprise,
to 2009. That's most of the movies.
Yeah.
This was one that again you see the cult following so many years later, and it's like because we've had time to appreciate 30 more years of movies and go back to like, you remember when they were like this? It's so good. This was the start of this.
Yeah.
It's just how history works.
Yeah, because also horror movies got really bad, so we started to appreciate
there was
the
a real
ones that
dip.
were good.
And it's too bad because that would have been like at least for I don't know if we're close enough in age where all of the horror movies I saw from like high school to like 25 years old, there was like 3 good ones.
Yeah.
But I watched all of them, and like that's when, you know, if you can get lucky enough to have a golden era of a certain genre that you
Yeah.
like, that would have been should have done the good movies from 2007 to 2020.
Yeah.
But they got really bad. They're starting to make a comeback a little bit.
A little bit. We're getting there.
Yeah, well, you know, maybe they'll reboot I Know What You Did Last Summer, make it a little bit better. We can always hope
There's
for a
too
reboot.
much rebooting. There's way too much rebooting.
No, I want something new and fresh. Stop
Yeah.
rebooting things.
I forget what you did last summer.
I forgot what you did last
It's
summer.
about a very forgetful
Remind
killer.
me.
Wait, were you the one I was chasing? I forget.
He just starts killing people on the off chance that they were the person.
Wait, are you guys my friends, or were you the guys I was trying to kill? I can't remember. I have no idea what I did last summer.
Well, stay tuned for our rendition of I Forgot What You Did
I
Last
forgot
Summer.
what you did. Coming to a theater
We're
near
gonna start
you.
coming out with skits.
Yeah,
What'd you do last summer? I don't know.
I forgot.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for
All right.
coming.
Bye.
But this is summer movies.
Yeah, we had to hit it. We had to hit
Gotta
the
do it.
cheesy summer slasher, and this takes the cake.
This is.
I think it was between this and like Sleepaway Camp, but this one had summer in the title,
Right.
so we had to go
Yeah.
for this one.
We probably would have had a very similar conversation with Sleepaway Camp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly.
Although that one had some.
Beefy short shorts.
Well,
Remember that jacket?
yeah.
Whatever.
For another time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had in my mind's eye.
Anyway, we'll catch you guys maybe next summer.
Yep.
See you next summer.
Every film in the book knows what you did last summer.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
And we're not happy about what you did last summer.
Yo, I'm gonna stalk you for like the next 3 months and write you really menacing notes.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I lied.
He touched the butt.
False Why is the rum always gone?
Go ahead. Make my day.